So let's clear the air because one of the biggest rumors out there is that while you were dating Scrappy, and Scrappy did say on my podcast, he admitted to cheating on you.
Mhm.
He cheated on you incessantly. And he said your lick back was cheating on him with Soldier Boy. When you were with Soldier Boy, were you still in a relationship with Scrappy? And did you do that to get revenge on him?
Well, I would say, there's different forms of cheating. Okay. Scrappy and I were still in the same household, but we weren't in a relationship. And it was difficult because, we sharing bank accounts, we got same family and friends that we're sharing. So, in a sense, and I was engaged, in a sense, it was like a marriage. So it wasn't just that easy to just pick up and leave. You got to divide things. I had like 3 cars. I think he had 2 or 3 cars as well. It was just a lot of moving parts. And we were just trying to kind of like figure things out privately. He had kind of stepped out as well with some other figures, but I guess it didn't really reach the attention of me stepping out with Soldier Boy.
He cheated on you with other female celebrities?
I'm not gonna call them celebrities, but I'll just say they have a following. But numerous people, it was a constant thing over and over. And now I kind of understand it. I don't agree with it, but we were both young, dealing with trying to manage fame and a lot of money. We both had a lot of tension, and that probably was just the best way he could handle things at that time. Just like I wasn't mature about the way my exit was. But when people saw Soldier Boy and us, like Soldier Boy and I out, we had not been active with each other. We were literally just having fun because he was young, he was vibrant. We collaborated on music. It was just fun. At that time when I was in a relationship 11 years ago with Scrap, I felt like I kind of had to be forced to grow up fast. I had all these huge responsibilities on top of just regular responsibilities that I just kind of wanted to just be free. I just wanted to have fun, But again, my exit and me, maybe going to that car show with him, I didn't really realize the capacity of how big it was going to be and how many people, how many eyes was on us. But in that moment, we were living together, but we had already called it quits and said that, hey, we kind of had talked about, where would I move? Where would he move? Then it was like, okay, well, you keep the house because you have a daughter. I'll find somewhere else to live. But it was just more of a process. It wasn't just easy to do, like pick up and pack up because we had so much invested, in that house, in that home.
What was your exit like? What made you want to leave the relationship?
I didn't really feel valued as far as I knew he loved me, but I didn't think that the love that he had for me was strong enough for him to stop doing the cheating. As crazy as it might sound, cheating wasn't really at the top of the list. I'm not saying it's okay, but we know how men are, It was more so of me kind of having to dim my light and it being a competition with certain things. Like, me pouring into him, being his biggest cheerleader. And he was definitely pouring into me being my cheerleader as well. But I felt like, everybody's careers go up and down. So at one point his career was up, mine was down. Or mine was up, his was down. Or we both up together. And I felt like at that time it was a lot of envy. I couldn't be really celebrated in my success without, it being an issue or me feeling like I pretty much have to dim my light or not being able to share my accomplishments and my growth. So that really bothered me and made me paranoid in a sense because it's like we're on the same team and I'm pouring into you, you pouring into me. If you win, I win. If I win, you win. So what's the problem? So that was more so at the top of my list. Cheating would be number 2. Even though I'm still not cool with cheating. So I think that was that.
Would he say things to you to make you feel that any success you had?
Well, it'd be at the time, it was like, well, everybody messing with you. They ain't messing with me, or little stuff like that, or like the My Chick Bad remix. I'm thankful for that opportunity. I felt like I had been doing my thing. I have still, from my understanding, as far as rappers, I still have the most mixtapes released or most projects released, period. I think about 14 projects. So I think that I was deserving of that when it comes to picking Atlanta, as far as when Luda was looking for, Atlanta, Miami, had Trina, and then you had Eve, Philly. But he was signed to DTP at that time, and I'm sure that he definitely, cheerlead for me in that moment to say, hey, put my girl on the record or whatever the case. But I think in that moment, which we have talked about recently, that he feels like that's when I guess started feeling myself, or when he really kind of saw a change in my attitude, or me kind of like just, feeling myself. I think maybe the feeling myself was more so just being happy to be recognized by myself, because I had came up in a group, and you figure you're dealing with 2 females in a group, at one point 4 guys, like you fight for your own identity. So it was more so just coming from a group and being able to stand on my own and be like, okay, that's Diamond. I love Crime Mob. That's my foundation. That's my family. They're the reason why I am where I am today. But I still am Diamond. I'm still Brittany outside of the whole umbrella of Crime Mob. So for me, that's where I felt like I was feeling myself, not more so like I was better than him or bigger than him, like, oh, I'm trying to one up you. But I think that was like the main thing for me. That was kind of like, I didn't feel like that I would be able to be where I am now. If probably in that moment, if I would have stayed, I would have probably continued to dim my light.
That's interesting, because when I spoke to Scrappy on the podcast, he mentioned that he felt Bambi did not support him in his success, and that he felt he had to dim his light for Bambi. Like whenever he had accomplishments, she never supported him, or she would always say, "What about me?" So that's interesting that you had.
He has actually brought that up and compared that to say that before we had like started talking back to each other, that he realized a lot of the things that I was saying back in the day, because he had experienced it in his relationship as well.